Oh, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start today's video off with an update of Brandon Curry at 6 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, and Brandon is looking pretty impressive in this crowd most muscular. But talking about updates of Brandon this season are a little bit bittersweet. I've been covering bodybuilding since 2020, and every year I have thought that Brandon Curry has the possibility to win the title. But going into this year's show, I think Brandon can definitely place very well depending on how he comes in the competition, but I think it's going to be very hard for Brandon to win another Olympia title based off the physique updates I'm seeing. I don't think Brandon is regressing, but I also don't think he's improving that much. Brandon looks more or less the same. He looks a little bit more conditioned than usual at 6 weeks out, but not any major improvements. But Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Samson Dowda, Andrew Jack, they're all coming in improved. But I have to remember that these are just physique updates. We have to wait until we see Brandon on the stage. It's possible that he has improved. Now let's switch over to William Bonac. This image is courtesy of Buys and Tries over on Instagram. William recently said, "I have been battling with my thoughts whether to give it a shot and try to qualify for this year's Olympia or just take time off and see how things go next year, or retire and find another purpose in life." If you guys want to see the full paragraph, is on William Bonac's Instagram. He also went into detail about training less and also eating less and just how he's feeling better overall. And I'm pretty sure you guys remember the update we talked about. William Bonac looked like 10 years younger after he took a little bit of time off. But William Bonac has had a great career. I would definitely consider him a legend within the sport. He has been as high as second at the Mr. Olympia. He has won multiple Arnold Classics, and probably 90% of the bodybuilding community thinks he was robbed versus Brandon Curry at one of those Arnold Classics. But if William does decide to retire, I don't think it's a bad idea. As I just said in the Brandon Curry update, we have a lot of young, very good bodybuilders improving at a very fast rate. And it's always painful to see the legends slowly start to drop in placings. I remember that with Rolly, even with Guy's sister Nino, I'm a big fan of him. But I always hate to tell a guy that he should retire because this is how people feed their families. But let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on William Bonac and his recent statements. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from the mutant Nick Walker, who is currently sitting at 274 pounds at 5 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And you guys heard me correctly, 274 pounds. I believe Nick Walker truly is going to come into this year's Olympia full blown. But going into this year's Olympia, Nick Walker's biggest weakness will be the quad sweeps once again. I know that Nick worked very hard this entire year on bringing them up, and I think they have slightly improved, but they still don't match his massive upper body. But Nick is going to be very hard to beat in the back double, you know, the side chest. Those shots don't involve the quad sweep. But let me know in the comment section below, where do you guys stand currently on Nick Walker? Is he going to maintain his spot in that top 3? Nick Walker placed top 5 at his first Olympia, 3rd place at his second. Nick plans to move up 2 more spots at this year's show. Now in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from Michal Krizo, also 5 weeks out. And I think Krizo's conditioning is going to be next level once again at this year's Olympia. At last year's show, Krizo was 12th place. At this year's show, I'm hoping to see him next to guys like, Samson, Andrew Jack, maybe even Nick Walker, just to see how Krizo will stack up next to those guys. I'm pretty sure Krizo will be in the top 10, so we should get to see some very interesting comparisons. Where do you guys think Krizo places this year? And let's switch over to Nathan DeAsha. These are the most recent updates of him ahead of this weekend's France Pro, and I'm pretty sure Nathan is going to walk away with the win this weekend. His biggest competition will probably be Roman Fritz, Tim Budashim, Alfred Chiriac, maybe even Theo LaGuerrier. But I'm really hoping that we actually get to see Nathan at this year's Olympia. I've heard a lot of people say that Nathan has legal issues and he cannot get into the US. I can't confirm or deny that, but if Nathan gets to this year's show, is he a possible top 10? And let's switch over to Regan Grimes, the guy who just got the nod over Nathan in Spain. Regan is looking pretty good ahead of this year's Olympia, possibly the best he's looked so far. But I'm not going to fall for the Instagram updates this time around. I'm going to wait until I actually see Regan on stage at this year's Olympia. The only things he can really do is slightly tweak his posing and definitely come in more conditioned. Now let's switch over to Charles Griffen. I think it's a little bit odd talking about a moon pose, but Charles looks absolutely ridiculous ahead of the Legion Sports Fest. In the caption of this, Charles said he's actually surprising himself this prep. So watch out for this guy in just 1 week. And let's switch over to Destiny 5. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, so I will put it up on the screen, but I've been seeing this guy all over my Instagram. He recently won the Bionis 1 Classic in the Open Division, and I'm pretty sure he competes in the IFBB Elite Pro. By the way, this show paid him $60K for the win, but I think this guy has a great physique, and hopefully in the future he will transition over to the NPC like Michal Krizo. What do you guys think about him? Now let's switch over to Terrence Ruffin, who recently posted up some updates, and Terrence also decided to put a few of his accomplishments in the comment section of this. So Terrence has the second most wins in Classic Physique, the most Arnold Classic titles, the most Best Poser awards, the third youngest bodybuilder to ever turn pro, and the most runner-ups at the Mr. Olympia, and all of those things were accomplished before he was 30. And what Terrence said in this caption is 100% factual, but I also think that he posted this just to remind people how good that he actually is. Terrence placed 6th at last year's Olympia, and I think a few people had doubts about him going into the Dubai Pro, even though he has all of those accomplishments. I'm looking forward to seeing Terrence Ruffin at the Legion Sports Fest, and I almost forgot, Terrence Ruffin said at the Dubai Pro he was at his lowest weight since 2019. So I don't think Terrence has used any of the new weight that he can now add with the Classic Physique boosting up the weight caps. And I think Terrence Ruffin with a little bit more size is going to be a completely different look and a lot more competitive. But let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. You guys let me know in the comment section below, who is this bodybuilder? And as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.